there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, this is Nox, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Manuel Nox. He's the vocalist of Living Dead Stars, and Living Dead Stars have released their self-titled debut album via Pavement Entertainment, and it's out now, and you want to pick this up and give it a listen, give it a twirl, give it a throw, just whatever you do, just help this band out as I ask you guys do for all these bands that are on here. So, Manuel, how's it going, man?
Hi, John. How you doing? I'm all good. How about you?
Doing awesome. Trying to survive and hopefully soon get out of this quarantine shit and get back out and do some stuff. But we'll get into all that here a little bit later. But how's it been working with Pavement Entertainment for you guys?
Well, we recently just signed with them, so for now I can only tell you that they're doing an amazing job as far as publishing goes. And along the lines of, they said that you can buy the CD basically everywhere, but everything is closed now worldwide, so I cannot tell you about sales or anything like that because, there's just not a single store on this globe that's open right now, apart from the streaming services. So, yeah.
This band was originally founded by you in London in 2016, now based in Huntington Beach, California, with a new lineup. Was the transition pretty smooth coming over and reforming the band? And was it hard to find other musicians that fit what you were looking for Living Dead Stars?
I want to say the toughest thing was really finding the right musician for this project. Like you mentioned, I founded the band in London back in 2016 with a completely different lineup. And, we just started touring over in Europe and everything went fine. And then, I came up with the idea to bring that, because I was talking to a producer, basically told me, bring that over to the US. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And apparently all my members left me. So I told them, hey, look, I sorted this out. Look, here's a producer that wants to work with us over in LA. And let's just fly over there and do this. And then they were all like, no, we're scared. We don't want this, So they basically all left me. And then I had to refound the band over in California with Spencer Conley, my guitarist.
Holy crap. So here's the dream hanging right in front of them. They had it in front of them, but they said they were scared. That blows my mind, but it don't blow my mind. I know some folks are eager to take that next step. What do you think why they didn't do it possibly, man? You think the heart wasn't into it possibly?
No, the thing was that they thought the whole thing, I talked to them straight and I told them, look, I want to make this big. I want to make this a global thing. And I want to do it as professional as possible. And they all say, yeah, I want to tour, I want to see the world and stuff like that. But they didn't want to pay the price for it,
Oh,
so
okay.
when I told them, let's get over here, let's get in the studio over in London and just record that. Then they all were like, okay, and what's the next step? What I'm going to do with my flat? And I said, well, I don't really care what you're going to do with your flat. Since we had this conversation and we said that we all basically together hang in there to try to make it. And then in the middle of the tour, they decided that I'm crazy and basically said, man, I will never forget this sentence. One of the members actually told me, man, sorry, but Living Dead Stars is not where you want it to be, and it will never be. You will never get this band over to the States and be successful in that. And I said, and I looked at him and said, okay, you know what? When you close that door, I will remember that sentence, and I will look into your face when I'm standing up that stage in a couple of years in the States, and then I'm going to call you. And he was like, man, you have no band anymore. So you have no band, no songwriters left. I said, well, I wrote all the songs, so, it's not like I'm losing much.
Jeez.
And that's what happened.
That's
and that
crazy.
gave me the power. They gave me the power because I was so angry about that that I was pushing it even harder, to get it accomplished in the end.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making the self-titled album, if anything, man? What sticks out the most about it for you personally?
Well, this is why it took so long for it to release, because like the majority of it was recorded in North Hollywood, in the Echo Bar Studios. And what was so awesome about that was that we didn't have a producer. So everything that you can hear on this album is completely written by two people. It's me and Spencer. And we had a few studio musicians playing the stuff for us before we decided to go for full lineup that we have right now. But this was what you can hear on the record is basically just me and the guitarist. So there was not a lot of producers actually saying that they want to add something to it. It's just him, his and my vision basically combined together. So I think that's quite extraordinary for an album these days, because everybody's like looking at the producers like, yeah, which kind of producers you work for? So this is entirely just the style of Spencer and myself.
So how well do you and Spencer feed off each other as far as creation of your music?
Honestly, I got more done with him over the distance than I did with some people while I was with them in the same room.
Oh, wow.
And that says a lot.
Yeah.
So, well, he's just amazing when it comes to the technical side and also songwriting. And, you know, it just clicked, really. Like when we were working on the song, he shot me over a guitar line. I shot something back. Then we put the drums over it. He sent it back to me. I pre-recorded the vocals, and then we got over to the States and recorded it properly, the mixing and mastering. Then it was just there. So it took a long time, but at the same point, it's like I'm really confident there's no B-side track on, in my opinion, of course. There's no B-side track on the album because we wrote a ton of songs, but we just chose those ones to be on the album. So, you know, it was not like we need to have 10 songs and we need to write another song that we get a full album. It was actually that we had to reduce and say, all right, this one goes for the album and that doesn't. So,
how long did it take to write and complete the album?
With that we had a ton of setbacks. Me getting sick, like there's a ton of things that happened, roughly 4 years, and then the virus.
Yeah, it's fucked up everything, man. Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time you listen to it or every time you talk about it. I know these are your babies, but do you have any that stick out for you possibly? Well,
it's got to be In Pieces because of the amazing guitar solo, and I'm saying amazing guitar solo because we got Max Georgia from Falling in Reverse on playing the solo and also being featured in a music video for In Pieces, and Through the Fire because of the energy. You know, we just came back from a UK tour, like a 20-something date UK tour, and people just love that song. And he also told us after the show that there's a lot of energy into that, so it's Through the Fire, which is also the longest song. So You see when you look at the album that all the songs, they have like a certain length. So we're not Tool, but you know, it's all about the course of 5 or 6 minutes.
Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs? Which one would be the first single you wanted to release for the album?
In Pieces, definitely.
But prior to that, were there any other songs that may have made the cut, possibly other than In Pieces?
Yeah, Through the Fire, but it's too long. So this is what we got told all the time. Like, I don't know if you play songs that are that long on your radio station, but I think these had like 5 minutes something. And the guys over at Pavement were like, "Hey guys, awesome song, but this is way too long." And I was just like, I don't care. I like it that way. You know, this is why we're not working for the producer. Every producer would have told you like, "Man, you can't do this." And it was like, I can and I will.
5 minutes is not. 5 minutes is not long at all. I mean, that's a typical Metallica song. I mean, it's heavy. You know, songs 5 minutes to me are perfectly fine. That's just my opinion.
You know, I'm highly influenced from like a classical music and in terms of like movie music, Hans Zimmer and stuff like that. So a song builds up. And especially when you listen to Through the Fire, you can hear that we are building up. We're trying to create a moment here. And, you know, that just takes time. I cannot push that into 3 minutes. It would be a waste of time and a waste of energy. And, you know, you wouldn't get the feel of the dynamics the way I wanted it to. So it wouldn't feel natural at all.
Were there any tracks that didn't make this debut album that we could see down the road on another EP possibly, or another full length maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple tracks that didn't make it to the album, but one of them, for example, is on every live show. It's the first single of the band, which is called Fading Away, that you can find on YouTube. And that's one of the songs where we thought about re-recording it, but so many people told us, hey, look, this song is cool the way it is. You know, it was not recorded in like a super professional studio. Mm-hmm. So you can hear that it's not up to quality like the others. You know, we recorded the rest in North Hollywood, and this Fading Away was basically recorded in a home studio like situation. And then we uploaded that to YouTube, and the fans kept telling us, like, I wouldn't re-record it, just leave it like it is. It is rough, but it's honest. And I was like, okay, cool, but we can still do it. We cannot take this track on the album because it will be just like a massive drop in quality. And you know how people are. When something's not loud, it's not good. So I was kind of scared. Like, we all basically, with Pavement, decided together that we only released the new songs. And down the road, we will release another album where Fading Away is featured as a bonus track.
So writing the new songs, does it challenge or push you guys to come up with something new and stay fresh with your music and maybe push you out of your comfort zone? Do you like the way that it's going?
Like, I love writing songs. So it's not like, because many people ask me that right now, if I'm writing more songs, because I'm in the quarantine situation right now. So I always write songs, so I never feel like the need to write more songs because I just write a lot. So I have a lot of like titles, a lot of tracks, a lot of ideas to choose from. That makes the process easier.
Who did the cover work for the album?
Oh, it was a friend of mine from South America, Ruben LaBarca. He did that. So I just basically told him, look, I want to have the album cover should display the world. We don't want to see it. And then he was like, what do you mean? It's like, you know, kind of post-apocalyptic, but just picture it the way you don't want to see the world. And that was the outcome of the album. I thought it's great.
It looks awesome, actually. To be honest with you, I like it. I dig it.
Thank you.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Living Dead Stars' music in general? What do you hope they get from it when they start listening to it?
Well, I guess music in general is made for people to help them through certain situations in life. And this album is no different to that. So, for example, if you listen to In Pieces, it's basically about the times you get kicked in the balls and have to get back up again and then try again. So, you know, don't be afraid to fail. Just fail harder, stand up, and do it again until it works. So this is kind of like the thing that goes through the whole album is like, stay strong. And even if you have to deal with setbacks, stand up and do it again.
It's like I've always told folks, it's just like riding a bicycle or riding a horse. I mean, just get back up and go, you know. Just because one door closes doesn't mean every one of them will. Yeah, so.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What can fans expect at a show from Living Dead Stars once all this quarantine crap is over and we're able to get back out and do stuff? What are they going to get when they come to see you all live?
Well, we were scheduled to play a European tour with Anvil that was supposed to take place in March, just right after our UK tour. And that tour got postponed to November 25th. So ongoing from November, December, we will be on a tour in Europe supporting Anvil. And then we were looking forward to go back to the States. But right now, there's not really any booking agent out there that wants to talk to you about the future of live events right now.
So since almost everyone is in quarantine from the coronavirus, do you think concerts and festivals will have the same impact as before with sales? Or do you think this may hurt it in the long run after all this is over and everybody gets back to normalcy? What's your thoughts on this, Manuel?
I had this conversation with a few of my band members, and my opinion is that there will be a huge comeback. Because I think now people realize when they are quarantined in their homes that, you know, streaming music and watching a live performance is not the same. So I think that as soon as all that is over, that it will kick back in again and that people will more than ever go to concerts and go to festivals. So this is also a good chance for newcomer bands to, you know, to get the audience to actually come to their shows. Because I think, like, the first band, it doesn't matter which band it is. I just think that way, you know, that's doing a concert. It doesn't matter which band it is. People will be there because they had to live without it for months.
But what if it doesn't get back to that same strength that it was? What about, say, going the live streaming route? Because I think I saw they are now going to allow bands to charge folks for live streaming now to watch them do a live stream. What's your thoughts on that? Would you guys consider that maybe?
Well, we started that live streaming thing like right after, like while the outbreak, while we were still on tour. We did those quarantine sessions while we basically played song requests and covers for the followers out there. But I do not think that, no, it will get back to the live shows, because a live show and the live stream is just absolutely not the same. I don't think that you can compare it. I mean, it's a good way right now for musicians to make money, but you know, for a band, I mean, for songwriters, singer-songwriters, that's cool. It absolutely makes sense. But for bands, you know, just renting empty venues and playing live streams, this should not be like, I just hope we get back to normal, you know, like that you actually play in front of people. But for now, it's a good way to overcome that thing. But I don't see that this is like how it will be from now on.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, I want to do that right there, or even attempt it?
Well, half of my family was against it, which was a good start, because they basically told me I should not do that. So I always felt like I always did the things that they told me not to do. So it was always a good thing to be against them. So so basically, it was that, and it was like music was my life ever since. And when I realized that being on stages and entertaining people makes me happy, I just haven't found anything else in life that made me that happy. Even if I had to work in normal jobs like everybody else. But as soon as I made it up to the point where I could live without that job, I was like, this is my life now. And I want to keep going as long and as, you know, I just want to do this. And I don't think there's another job out there. So even like, I got the question once asking me like, is there one job out of that's not music related I would want to do? And I was like, well, I would probably end up in a booking agency or something like that, something music related at least. So I could never live without it.
And it's such a rush, man. I don't care if you're just on stage performing or if you're at home just listening to it. It's so much of a rush, and I cannot stress that out enough to people.
Absolutely, yeah. It's troubled times.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Living Dead Stars gets support from? Your music gets played in, or is there, you know, other folks jamming to you guys? Is there anywhere that possibly kind of sticks out or shocks you?
I, for example, don't know why we have a good following in Sweden, because we never played there before, and I absolutely don't know why. Also, South America. Like this is due to my drummer. Like my drummer is the ex-drummer of Benediction, and he had a good fan base over in South America. So I think like kind of a lot of their his followers basically jumped over to ours. But in general, I'm just happy the way it works out for now, and I just hope that the virus thing is over and that we all can go back to the tour life and try to do what we always wanted to do and what we love doing.
I'm sure you had a lot of albums when you were growing up and a lot of songs that really hit you hard, but did you have a go-to album or song when you were younger that just let you escape or made you think things are going to be better? Did you have that possibly, or maybe even today, do you have that?
Well, I don't really listen much to positive songs. So I was an emo kid back then. And so I was really into Linkin Park, like Hybrid Theory. Mm-hmm. The whole album was basically just a killer. Then later on, I got into Rise Against,
nice,
which I think is just awesome.
Yeah.
And Avenged Sevenfold, obviously. Mm. Yeah.
Gotta have some kind of punkish rock. Rise Against. I mean, you can consider Rise Against in their punkish rock, heavy, not heavy, but you know.
Their old albums are.
Yeah. They're so good still. They still make good
do you know
music.
that do you know that Tim had a band before they were formed Rise Against? They're called Transistor React, where he was the singer.
Yeah.
And that shit's really hard.
Yeah, I remember that actually. I'm glad you mentioned that because, truth be known, I was actually trying to think of that the other day because I had the album and I could not find it. And then I found it like 2 days ago. So yeah.
I think 401 Kill is like on that album. And
Good
then
stuff.
we re-recorded it for The Sufferer and the Witness, I think. I'm not sure.
Folks, you want to get out and support Living Dead Stars. They have released their self-titled debut album via Pavement Entertainment. It's out now. Please get out and support these guys. They work just as hard as anybody else. So I treat everybody as the same. They're all the same to me. So please get out and support these folks. So Manuel, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise, tour dates when this all gets back to normalcy, tickets, all that good stuff. How can they do that, good sir?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. And yeah, it will be like Facebook, Instagram, Living Dead Stars. And yeah, I mean, if you want a t-shirt or like a CD, we're happy to sort you out.
And before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely. Hey, this is Nox, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, plus it has our YouTube link, plus we're all over the place, such as Apple Podcast, Spotify, everywhere, folks. Please just get out and support us. And also get out and pick up Living Dead Stars' self-titled debut album via Pavement Entertainment. You will not be disappointed. And I'd just like to say this also. I want to thank all the first responders, all the doctors, all the nurses, all you guys and gals who are putting your life on the front lines to help everybody during COVID-19. And to everybody who is going through this, I hope that you guys and gals have a speedy recovery and we all get through this. And we get back to normalcy a little bit because things are going to be a little bit weird even after COVID-19. So it's not going to be, we're right back into where we left off at. I hope so, but I don't think so. I think a lot of things are going to be changing now. So, Manuel, man, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. And I like your attitude. Don't take no for an answer. And definitely don't let doors close on you because if they do, just open them back up.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thanks for having me.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.